Good. Hello there, fellow citizens of the internet. My name is Moses, and welcome to the Moses Kabandana podcast. I have my buddy from high school, all the way from high school, Taylor Doorn. You can find my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all kinds of different places. Welcome to the podcast, Taylor.
What's up? Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the topic for the podcast is going to try and focus on your experience after the army, and it's going to try to go and try to address how you have navigated the whole life after the army. But it does not have to be too does not have to stick to that particular topic. We can just talk whatever you're mostly comfortable with. So with that being said, a quick intro from your end. A little bit about yourself, where you're staying, where you're living, and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. No, my name's Taylor Doorn. I met you, sometime in high school, sophomore or junior year, I don't know.
Yeah, sophomore, I think.
Yeah, joined the Army after high school in 2014 or 2015, I think. Got out in 2018, and now I'm going to college at Grand Valley and living around Allendale area.
You did one what do you call in the Army, contract? One contract?
Yeah, so I served for like 3.5 years, just one enlistment period.
Okay, because I remember, man, like back in high school, like when we used to do PT and stuff, right? All that you would talk about was, I can't wait to go into the Army. I can't wait. And you were so dedicated, man, like so dedicated. I think this one time, like we were on the way to PT, and like you had driven separately. And when you got there, you ran into me. You're like, "Yo, Moses, you can't believe what happened." Like apparently, so you had ran into a ranger or something, like at a grocery store or something, like the day before.
He didn't have a leg.
Okay, yeah, and like you just start asking all kinds of questions, pin him down, trying to get as much info as you could, and you were trying to pass down all that info to me. And I was just like, "Hey, man, I'm just here for a quick workout." Like, that's it.
We used to go work out at the Marine PT place.
Yep. How long did we do that for? Like a couple years?
Yeah, it was a couple years, I think.
Yeah, because I think I started doing it before you. Yeah?
Because, my neighbor, what was his name?
Adam?
He got you into everything.
Yep, yeah, he got me into it, and I think him and I were doing it for probably, I don't know, maybe like 6 months or something. And then I don't remember how you ended up in it. Maybe like we challenged you or something. I must have called you a couple names.
Talking about how you're faster than me and stuff, which was true. Yeah.
Yo, but you could rack them up those push-ups though.
I can't anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, jeepers. Yo, I'm starting to get back into it. Yeah, push-ups wise, like I'm trying to do. Oh shoot, I haven't done any today. I'm trying to do like 50 push-ups a day. And the idea is to like ramp it up to. Yo, we
used to do that. We used to do 200 push-ups a day.
Every day. Okay, I feel like I must have like skipped on a couple of days, and like I didn't say it because it was like $1 per person in the gym. So I was like, no.
Bro, we used to wake up and be like, do 25 push, because it didn't have to be at the same time, I don't think, did it?
Nah.
I would split them up between like 25 at a time throughout the day.
Yep. I'm doing 10 at a time throughout the day. I'm just trying to hit 50. Like, that's it. But like when I'm in the gym, like working out, then I will probably, squeeze in maybe 60 or 70. But for now, like when I'm not working out, I'm just home. I'm like, okay, at least a minimum of 50 will probably justify my existence. So I'm like, I'm fine with that. Um, so like for you, like has was like joining the army. The army was something that like you had always wanted to do, or was that something like a last minute type thing that you're like, yeah, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna go into the army.
I feel like it was one of those things that like it's something you want to do when you're a kid, right? Like because movies and modern day media kind
Right.
of glorify war and everything. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'll join the army. That looks, I want to be that guy, which is never the case. That's not reality. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then there's a pretty strong line of like military service in my family and stuff. So I knew I wasn't ready to go to college or anything. So I just decided to join the army, and I was going to do that for 20 years and quickly realized that I didn't really care for that that much.
20 years, yo. Did I tell you that I tried to join the last minute, like out of nowhere?
The National Guard, right?
No, no, no. The actual army. Like I was. This was my first year in college. I'm laying there on my top bunk, and I'm like, hey, I feel like I want to join the army. So I drove to Lansing. Like, I, bro, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I drove all the way to Lansing, went through the whole ASVAB thing, right? Did the physical testing and everything. And the I don't know. I don't even know why I actually like did it. I was just so bored, and I was like, I can't see myself just sitting in a classroom um, for days for the next 4 years. And I was just so, I don't know. I didn't put too much thought into it. I was just like, I got enough gas to drive to Lansing. Let's go. Like I remember like the recruiter was just like, bruh, like this doesn't happen often. Like let's go, let's get this done, let's get this done with.
It's like the perfect
Oh.
sale. The perfect recruit just shows up.
Yeah, like I'm recruiting myself basically. Um, so then once you got in, once you got into the army, like what was that like? Did that meet like the expectations? Or like how did you take it?
I took it pretty poorly at first because I realized very, very quickly, recruiters lie. That's not like a hidden fact or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But I was told that it would be like a certain way, and I'm not like, I hold no like resentment about it. But I was told it would be a certain way that everything would happen to me becoming what I wanted to be or whatever. So I got there and quickly realized that that wasn't the case. The hardest part of basic training, it's not hard. First of all, basic's not hard. It's all waiting.
Mhm.
The hardest part was the first like 3 weeks I got there. You just sat in a room, like you couldn't work out because they didn't want you to get hurt before you actually went to basic training. And then you couldn't, you would just go to chow every day and sit around. So I was kind of like, this is stupid. I want to go home. Like, I'm not even doing anything.
Right.
And then finally, basic picked up, and all the working out and training you do doesn't really, at least for the group that I went through, didn't really matter because we spent 3 weeks just sitting in a room, not able to actually work out.
Okay.
And then you're sitting, you're with a bunch of people from a lot of different walks of life, and different like cultures than what or at least I was used to. So that part was actually pretty interesting, kind of learning about different people and that sort of stuff. So that was pretty fun, but it was pretty boring after like the third day. And then of course you put a bunch of guys together in a room and they act really stupid.
Right. I bet. But I bet that also like creates some sort of like camaraderie, right? I mean, like it might be like boring and bored as hell, but you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes. Probably create a good chemistry and stuff like that. Now,
It is. it like you do form. One of my best friends I went to basic with, I was from my military career. I was literally met him day one and was with him until the final day, except for Afghanistan. But a lot of the relationships you make in basic training, they end up not really. They're typically not people that you stay in touch with, because after basic you get sent everywhere, and then you meet the people that you're actually going to be with for the foreseeable future.
Oh, okay.
So those are the friendships and stuff that really gets taken home.
Yeah. So what would you say, like 80% of your time, like what would you be doing 80% of your time in the Army?
In the Army in general, just sitting around waiting. I'm not even lying. That's mostly what it was. And it kind of develops through your career. So like when you first start out, you're like you're the private, you're the newest guy, so you're volunteering to do everything, whether something needs to be swept, mopped, driven somewhere, whatever. You're volunteering to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, of course, the older guys are going to smoke you and all that fun stuff. And then once you graduate and get into like that specialist rank, then that's where you're just sitting around telling other people what to do and not doing
so it's a whole lot of telling others what to do and a whole lot of being told what to do.
Yeah, and it's all, when you look back on it, most of it is meaningless and stupid. Like, there is no reason the stuff had to happen, but...
So then, like, how do you, like, what do you do to pass time?
It depends what you're doing. Like, if it's a regular day at work, is you wake up at 5, you go, well, at least I did, because I lived off base once I got married, but, you wake up at 5:30, you get to PT at 6:30, so then you go do whatever workout you're going to do for the day until, like, 8 o'clock. And then after that, it's nice. Like, I can't lie. You get breakfast till 9:30. Okay. So you have an hour and a half breakfast, hour and a half lunch, that sort of thing. And then whatever tasks. The thing about the infantry is, honestly, it's not like you have like daytime responsibilities, right? Like, it's not like a desk job where you have papers you need to file, unless you're getting up there in ranks and stuff. So most of the time it's just waiting until someone finds something for you to do, whether that's like mop the floors or check the connexes and make sure we still have all our like essential items and stuff that, no one misplaced or something. So it's a lot of during the day, or teaching classes about like tactics and stuff like that. That's typically a lot of it is teaching classes, because when higher ups see that there's just a bunch of guys sitting around, it's kind of like, oh, well, we're just going to mess them up then, and stuff like that. So I can't tell you the amount of times I taught hygiene classes, like stuff like that, just stupid stuff to keep us out of the line of fire or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot
man.
on me, though.
There's a lot of what?
Dirty people. Like, don't shower, that sort of thing. Oh my god. It's kind of like college on steroids, and this is why. Because, like when you're a kid and you go to college, I guess I don't have a ton of experience, but like you're in a dorm with whoever, you're learning how to do your laundry, buy groceries or whatnot. Well, when you're in the Army, you get taken way the heck away from where you want to be, and then suddenly you're learning like, oh, I have to do like my own dentist appointment, stuff like that, and people don't do that. They don't, they don't manage their time well. They're like, oh, I'm not going to clean my room, stuff like that. Yeah. So you go, there's pizza boxes, it's nasty. But there's no parent really to enforce them to do anything. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, barracks inspections happen, and then you get messed up if your room's dirty. But it's not that often, really.
Have you had conversations with like people who are in other branches and like compare your experiences, see if they have it easier or harder or like just different?
Yeah, I mean, I've never talked to anyone in like the Navy or Coast Guard. Obviously, my older brother's in the Air Force, so he's got it way easier. No, but he does. Obviously he's an officer and a pilot, so he does different things. But
Right.
when I was on deployment, where was I? We went to a place called Shorab, I think, and then from there to Sangin. And I was in the Recon Scout Sniper Platoon at the time, and we worked with some of the Scout Sniper Marines. And okay, first of all, we were there for like 3 weeks. It didn't need to be that big of like a packing list or a bag. So, I got like my assault pack, I got like my little blanket in there because it's hot as hell. You don't need to like sleep, you don't need anything. Man, the Marines are out there with like 130-pound bags and stuff. I was like, why? Bro, that right there where I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, that looks hard.
Yeah.
And it's not that I haven't done that, but I was like, that's just unnecessary.
Just doing it just to be like, yeah, what you got?
Yeah, it's just like, dang, bro, that's some weight right there.
Oh my goodness, tons of weight and is hot.
Oh, and what was interesting is I was a grenadier, so I had a grenade launcher attached to the bottom of my M4. And I had the 320, which is like a newer version of the grenade launcher. And a lot of the Marines had 203s, which are the older versions. And when they saw mine, they were like looking at it and stopped like it was a piece of gold.
Oh, it's funny.
They were, bro, all respect to them. They were fantastic guys, and yeah.
It's fun. Like when you were saying that, I had this imagery of like a monkey running into something new, and they're just like, "Wow, what is this?" My goodness. Okay, so then would you say then that overall, like, your experience was like met your expectations of what the army was gonna be, exceeded, or just things that you never thought of?
It was more things that you don't think of, The reality of it is I went in there expecting like to be physically and emotionally challenged, which I was. And then I also expected, like wartime stuff like that, the bullshit you see on TV.
Right.
That wasn't at all like what I was expecting. Obviously, I don't know if you know, I think Biden said we're getting everybody out of Afghanistan here in a little bit, which is about time.
Yeah.
But, the fighting's calmed down. Like, it's not... there's almost no reason for us to be over there, in my opinion. So, like, when I was over there, it wasn't like the, like, Navy SEAL stuff you see on TV and crap like that. It was like, okay, I'm going to go walk for 12 miles because apparently we have to,
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like, not to say that it's not dangerous, but it was dangerous in, like, a different way than what you would expect. So, overall, I mean, it's not that I had, like... It's not like it met my expectations. It was just different than what I expected. Like...
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Would you say that, like, what would you have done different if you went in knowing that you would have a lot of, like, free time in your hands? Like, would you have brought, like, a whole PlayStation system or something? Are you even allowed to?
To the Army?
Yeah.
Oh, in general? Yeah, well, I had my Xbox and everything. But honestly, dude, it's a pretty, like, on the weekends and stuff, it's a pretty tight-knit community. Like, all the people that live in the barracks kind of hang out with each other and drink with each other and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, a lot of the people are young 18-year-old kids that don't have cars.
Right.
So they don't have anywhere to go. So, the older guys kind of take care of them, and then they party and hang out on the weekends and stuff like that and just do stupid stuff. And, it all works out well.
There's so many stories that I've, like, laughed my butt off of, like, people just getting, like, so hungover on Sundays and then, like, having to run PT on a Monday or something. And just some of the stories are like, oh my goodness, so hilarious.
Gosh, the first weekend I got there, like I said, my buddy that I came in with, or that I met the first day of basic, we ended up going to the same unit and everything. So we lived at the same barracks, and he was just a floor above me. But the floors are separated by companies, which is like 100 peoples that belong to, like, think about it like they belong to company A, and then floor 2 belongs to company B, that sort of crap. So I was on the second floor and he was on the third, and I didn't really understand that yet. I just thought everybody got their own barracks room and it was what it was. And it was like my second day there, and I walked up to go hang out with my buddy, and I'm walking by, and some guy who's like looking rough, man, like you can tell he's been drinking. He just looks at me. He's like, "Hey, bro, you private?" I was like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "No, you ain't got to call me sir. I can be your friend." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "What company you in?" And I was like, "I'm in Alpha Company." He's like, "Oh, that's cool. When'd you get here?" I was like, 2 days ago. He's like, "Well, why did you come in here, man?" So they end up dragging me into their room, like, against my will. I'm trying to, like, pull on the door and stuff. So they tied me up and are, like, forcing me to drink Bacardi 151. It was just horrible. And then they kicked me out the room, and I've still got, like, my hands tied behind my back. And I was like, what just happened?
Oh my god. As soon as you answered that you're a private, they knew you were in for something.
No, after that I was like, how the hell did I get here? Like,
yeah.
How did I end up in this place of life?
Oh my goodness. So the transition, right, to go from being in the army to being out, like how was the transition, and like what would you say was like one of the like hardest things to adjust to?
It was hard. It was really difficult getting out of the army, and it's not something that I really anticipated. So I got married in 2018, August 19th of 2018, and I got out December of 2018, but I'd actually left the base in November. But after I got married, you know, I still had just under a year in my contract. Wait a second. Was it 18? No, it was 2017. Excuse me. I got married in 2017, not 18. But I still had like a year under my contract. So me and my wife lived apart. And then when I got out, it was because, you know, it's all you're looking forward to is like, oh, I'm getting out of the army. This is going to be awesome. So I won't have to shave. I can put my hands in my pockets. It's going to be great. Well, everybody, you know, you kind of view it as like a way that people try and keep you in the army by saying, hey, you're going to fail if you get outside. Like, you get out of the army, you don't have a job lined up, you're done. You're going to be living on the streets. And there's like a very minor truth to that because most people get out of the military without a plan. So I kind of got a plan. I found a place to work as soon as I got out. I took like a month off. But I got out, and now I'm living with my wife for the first time. I'm not living alone anymore. And living alone is obviously pretty depressing to begin with. But then I immediately started going to work, and I didn't really understand it. I don't know, it was just very difficult, like trying to figure out how you fit in now. And then you lose that structure of you have to be at this place at this time wearing this uniform. Like, you know everything you need to know. And then once you become a civilian, it's kind of like you can, other than work, you make your own schedule and do what you want, which is kind of weird. So I remember I wasn't really happy for a long time. Not even just recently, like this past year, figured out how it like all works and how to be successful and integrate yourself back into like a normal society.
Right.
Which, because you can, like, on the outside, you can make it work. Like, I mean, like, of your appearance and like your actions, you can make it work. But on the inside, it doesn't really. For me, it just did not click at first. I didn't really understand how to fit in and like kind of come back to a regular life. And I don't know I don't know if it's that way for everybody. Like, I know some people probably adjust pretty easily.
Would you say that the habits that you build in the army are what makes the transition harder, or is it that if you're doing 3 years, 4 years in, depending on how long you're in, by the time you get out, is it because society has changed a bit more, so it's harder to catch up with society, or is it more about like the habits that get ingrained in your head while in the army?
I think, God, I think it's just partially the habits. Like, you gotta understand, alcohol was a problem for me. Like, when I was in the military on the weekends, it's drink is what you do. Like,
Right.
like it's not saying that's a bad thing necessarily, but then I kind of brought that over into my civilian life, and it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't,
Yeah.
and it was something that everyone here was kind of unfamiliar, like not used to. So cutting that out, like drinking was a good thing to do. That kind of helped me move along. But that played a factor. And then, the other thing that no one tells you about the Army, which absolutely sucks, is you're going to make some of the best friends you'll ever make in life, and then you're never going to see them again. So that also messed me up pretty good, because I didn't realize, like, I had a goddaughter down there, and then I've only seen my buddy twice now that I've been out. But we talk a lot and are intentional about it now. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just the little things that you don't really realize will affect you, like the friendships you make and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Did your buddy also get out, or is he still in?
He actually got chaptered out. He got kicked out.
Okay.
Okay. He got a messed up toe and then failed to run, so they kicked him out. He probably could have stayed in, but then he smoked weed and popped hot too, so
Yeah.
he
Doesn't help.
he didn't get like a dishonorable, but he just got kicked out.
Oh man. So then you made the decision to get back into school, which I gotta say, one of the only reasons I went to college, it wasn't because like I knew what I wanted to study or anything, is that I knew that because of how much I don't like school, if I were to take like a year off or 2 years, I would never go back. Like by the time I try to go back, like I would have like forgotten how to read. Like I'm so bad. So that's why I went to college. I was like, you know what, let me just like go straight into it, survive this 4 years, keep my reading, my reading abilities up, and then and then it's free for all after college. But like for you then, like why did you make the decision to go back into college, and how difficult was that?
I the good thing about the military, which there are a lot of good things, but the best thing I think is I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. So I obviously love being outdoors, so I'm part of the natural resource management program. And I knew I wanted to do something like that, like wildlife biologist, that sort of thing. I knew I was pretty interested in that when I got out of the Army. I, got sucked into that mentality that if I don't get a job, I'm not going to be successful. So I ended up as a salesman at a car dealership for a few years.
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm supposed to, I know what I want to do, so I got to go do that. So, and my wife graduated college and all her friends from Grand Valley, so it made sense for me to go there.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, dude, college is easy so far. So far, I found college, the hardest thing is remembering how to use a stupid calculator. That thing sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Other than that, everything else is, it's been weird though, because it's COVID and all that, like online. Yeah. But I like that, honestly. It's pretty easy online.
Yo, that's pretty dope. That because I think for a lot of people, some of the stories that I've heard is that the difficulties with college is having to like go back into this academic sphere where typically like you're so used to just following instructions and doing stuff like that, but now you have to like learn by yourself in college, and also like you might be like in your mid-20s and you're sitting with 19-year-olds and that don't really you like that part?
Annoying. I hate sitting next to kids, man.
Okay.
Like that I don't really care for.
Okay.
But
Okay.
honestly, I think I don't know. I just enjoy it because I would have failed. I think right now I have pretty good grades in everything I've done so far, but like if I went right out of high school, I wouldn't have been like I wouldn't have known how to like sit down and just do something and actually kind of force myself to be interested in it, like and that's something I'm kind of been able to do now, or I have a better work ethic, I'd say.
Really? You were smart in high school.
School.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even get like a 3.5 in high school, or whatever you get when you're that smart, you get like that, you get part of that society.
Yeah, but like 3.5, that's like close to 4. That's like an all A student. I was happy. I was surprised that I got a 3.0. I was like, wait, somebody must have sneaked a grade in there. That's a solid B. I was like, okay. I'll take that.
I don't really remember high school. Like I remember my senior year, and I remember like the people, kind of, but I don't remember classes. I don't really remember what happened. I remember a little bit of theater, and that's like it.
Yeah, it's so weird how big of a deal they make high school to be, but then once you're like a few years out of it, you're like, it's like this blob of blank. There's just, yeah, there's like a couple events in there that you remember, but that's.
I remember when I graduated, and like the dates. Like I can't tell you a single person I hung out with my freshman or sophomore year. Like I can't remember a single. Like I couldn't put a name. I don't remember anyone. And then junior year, I kind of remembered like doing plays and stuff in that. And then senior year, I remember that, but that's like it's weird.
No, freshman year, yeah, no, I just no. There's definitely nothing there. Sophomore year, I remember because it was transition from Lowell from Ada to Lowell, so I have a bit more of a. I remember this like my first semester in Lowell, like. I learned this later on in my senior year, but like apparently, like when I first showed up, like there was like a decent amount of people that thought that I was like a super badass, like I would beat people up for no reason. So, and I wondered why like nobody would like talk to me the whole like for most of my sophomore year, and then I learned later on that like apparently I had this like mean mugging face, that kind of.
School is scared of the one African kid.
Do
you remember we had a class together, a math class?
We had a math class together?
Yes, we did. I can't remember what year it was, but I knew I didn't know you at the time. But then once I got to know you, I was like, because you remember it was like, God, what was that guy's name? He was a tall guy with short hair, black hair. Mr.
We're not Mr. Dimmick. I had him. Yeah, not him. Oh, I know who you're talking about. I'm not going to remember, though.
And that's how I remembered when I got to know you. I was like, oh, yeah, you were in my math class. Because I remember hearing your name, and he was like, God, he said Moses or something, and you said it was pronounced Moises, right? Or something like that. And I was like, what a weird pronunciation. Like, huh.
Which is so weird because when I got to college, I switched it to Moses. So it was like I kind of did it on purpose because now I know like if I hear Moises, I know for sure it's gotta be somebody from high school or before. If I hear Moses, it's college and after. If I hear Mo, you better be family or you're about to catch these hands. Like
we used to fight all the time, like not like fight, but like make fights up and stuff.
Yeah, didn't we try to make like a 10-minute long fight?
All because of the pinky.
Of a pinky. For no reason. No reason at all. Oh, but yeah, yo, those were fun. Those were fun.
For sure.
Heavily choreographed fights.
Yeah, I've actually like when I'm on set like shooting a film and like I get so bored, I've like choreographed some fights that I got. I should send you a couple of those clips. Like they're like super dope, super dope. But yeah, like since then, like the whole choreographing fights, like it's always been stuck, stuck in my head. And I always go back to like the reason for fighting being so dumb and so stupid.
Why did we
Uh,
fight? Why did we start doing that? I can't remember.
Well, one is like challenging, like I can pin you. No, you can't. Okay, let's come up for with a reason for me to pin you then. Uh, but yeah, I can't remember like.
Dude, I remember every time we would for real fight, you would always beat me. Like when we would wrestle
well,
or something.
I was slightly heavier,
Yeah.
right?
I talked a lot of crap thinking I could beat you. Spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to stop a double leg.
Yeah. Yo,
No. You had this one time we wrestled and I actually like sunk my teeth in you because like you had put me in this like weird like yeah armbar chokehold and like I didn't like I knew the concept of like tapping out, but I'm not gonna tap out because then you're gonna carry that metal like to the death. Like you would have reminded me of that until the day I die. So I was like, okay, I can't tap out. So hey, I got some teeth. So your hand was like right near my mouth. And I just took a nice bite of your forearm. You're like, yo, that is not allowed. I was like, hey, we didn't come up with the rules. Like, but yeah, that is the only time that I was like, yo, my boy almost had me, bro.
That was fun, but I'd take you for sure now.
Now, yeah, no. Well, actually, you probably could. Now you probably could. Like, yo, for some reason, like after high school, like my lower back like got so bad.
Really?
Yeah, so bad. Like I can't do deadlifts. Like nothing. I don't even try to do deadlifts. Um, yeah, upper body I'm strong. Like if we're gonna do an arm wrestling, I will tag you any day.
I
left
forgot we
hand.
used to arm wrestle. Hey man, I got these baby arms now. I just
Yeah.
gave it all up.
Yeah, no, but yeah, if I tried to wrestle, you would just pin me down like a noodle, bro, like left and right.
I act all tough, but to be honest, I can't remember the last time I've been in a fight. Like even to like a wrestling, it's been years.
Yeah. Oh, I've never gotten into a fight, like a real fight. Never, my whole life, never.
Just like rolling with somebody, like wrestling, like not like because you're mad or anything.
Okay,
I
yeah.
haven't done that in years.
That kind of dwindles away after a bit.
People get too old for that suddenly.
Yeah, yeah, and like when you're an adult, it's not like I don't know. You break something, man. It takes much longer to heal. I don't know, I'm already sounding like I'm old as hell.
What are you like? 26 now? What am I? You gotta be 26, right?
You finally said an age that's younger. I'm 27 now. Yeah, you've been accusing me of being 27 since I was 22.
So the fact that it's at 26, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's because it was like senior year when I found out you're older than me.
Yeah.
When did I find out?
2.5 years older than everybody.
When did I find out that you were from Africa? That blew my mind, man.
Really?
Yeah, that and you spoke like 8 languages. I saw
Huh.
a video that you forgot like 7 of them though.
I forgot all kinds. All kinds. Like, it's so weird because, like, I have an accent. So, like, when I run into someone and, I start yapping, the first thing they ask is, like, where you're from. And if they know where I'm from, then they ask, if I can say something in that language. And I'm like, hey, hold on now. Like, I didn't say I speak all that. But yeah, the language, man, just like Yeah,
that I
nah,
was playing,
not
honestly.
yeah. Is it? Do you still have some Spanish in you, or was it French? Oh,
Spanish. I like
Yeah,
yeah.
did
Didn't
you
you
take
take
like
like
a little bit.
Spanish four?
I took. I can't remember if I was an AP Spain. I think so. Here's what happened. I got like
You were deep in it.
yeah, but I wasn't with the rest of the people in my grade. They were all ahead of me, so I was taking it with like the juniors when I was a senior. I was taking like Spanish 3 or something like that. So they put me like technically in the AP class. Mrs. Dent did. She didn't want to like embarrass me, I think, but she didn't let me take the AP exam.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't. I took some level of Spanish, but I've forgotten most of it, other than like muy caliente. I got that one down. Mostly because of some like box of noodles.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know why I took like, cause so I took Spanish one and then I tested out of Spanish two, um, and then I took Spanish. No, I tested out of Spanish three as well. So I have no idea why I took Spanish one, and then I took. And for some reason, like I struggled hard in Spanish one. Like, yo, like I would walk in there and just it would be like gibberish, man. So I was like, wait, how did I have such a hard time in Spanish one and like test out of Spanish three? It just made no sense. And then I took Spanish four and AP Spanish. But I and then like now that I'm in LA, like Spanish has helped a lot. It helped a ton, especially when I was driving for Uber and Lyft. I would pick up all kinds of people that just don't speak like a single word of English. And people are always so surprised when I speak Spanish.
I mean, I guess I could see it, like why they'd be surprised. But didn't you speak Portuguese first?
Yeah.
But those are
Yeah,
pretty
I
close,
still-
aren't they? Like grammatically and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like not even like long distance cousin. They're like cousin, like right next to each other. Um, yeah, they're pretty much the same. Pretty much the same, really. Um, so to kind of like close it off, like would you if you had to go through the army again, or like if you had the option to, would you would you would you do it again?
Um, would I do it again,
Or what would it take for you to do it again?
dude?
I guess that's a better question.
It would take a fat paycheck, man. That's what it would take, and I'm talking like billions. No, I wouldn't do it again. Knowing, like right now at my age, man, I know this is gonna sound weird because I'm only 24, or yeah, I'm only 24.
Wait, oh, no, hold on now. No, Taylor, no, don't do me like this. Don't do me like this. You've been 24 for at least 2 years now. I know that for a fact.
I will show you my driver's license, man. I'm only 24. I'm almost 25. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Right now,
Damn.
I would be old in the Army. Like, 24 is an old to be like, unless you're like a sergeant and getting up there. Like, if I was still in the military,
Yeah.
I'd be a staff sergeant right now. If
Okay.
I would not go in again right now. Like, not happening. I'm too old. I'm too broke. I collect disability and stuff. I'm not about that. I would, I mean, but if knowing what I know now, I would do a lot of things differently, and I would still join the Army again. Like if I was younger, and I knew what I did now, I would. It's a good place, man. It's just sometimes it sucks, but it would take a lot of money to get right now, Taylor, to go do it again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel okay. Even though I'm 27, like if I don't know, let's say like I went like super broke, right? Like all kinds of broke, and I didn't see a way out or anything like that, and I had to go into the army. Oh, I'll go right in. I'll go right in, stub my toe after like a 6 months or something, get an honorable discharge. Hey, that's a bad toe stopping, bro. Like,
Dude, that was
Stop your.
the Taliban stubbed his toe. He's out of here. Get that man out of here, boy.
You did good. You did good.
It's just no. Like the Army, everyone thinks like you go to basic training, you get jacked and stuff, and then like you get in good shape. And no, man, it's different. You become strong in like different ways. Like your back becomes stronger, your neck, because dude. The first time I wore a helmet for a full day, I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know I had muscles back there. They hurt so bad. And then like breaking your feet and knees. Like, that's what I got messed up with my knee. But no, I wouldn't do it again now. It's just too liable to get hurt. And you know what? All the older guys get hurt. That's the other thing.
Okay.
All the guys that come in older end up getting hurt because they're not as young going in and like getting broken in.
right. Damn. What would you say, or like, is there anything that you've gotten out of the Army? This might be like an interesting question, I suppose. Is there anything that you've gotten out of it that you would say that you use on a pretty much daily basis?
I mean, the mentality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a no fucks given mentality. Like, I'm willing to, I'm not, I have a stronger work ethic and I don't really care what I'm doing. I'm not going to complain. You know what I mean? That sort of thing that comes from the suck that you're put through in the military. So,
yeah.
I use that.
Just shut up and put up.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, when life's just dog shit, it is what it is, Like,
yeah.
It'll buff. It is what it is. It'd be that way.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I definitely don't have that. I'm the type that's like, it gets difficult. I'm like, I'll come back at it later. I'll come back at it later. But yeah, I can definitely use a little bit of that grit mindset of like, this is tough, but I'm loving it. The only time that I incorporate that mindset is when I'm working out and like, let's say I'm doing like my heaviest set, my heaviest curl, and like my veins are all kinds of popping and just like can't finish that the last curl. I tap into this like mindset and I'm like, yo, this is not an option. Like you gotta finish this curl. And it's and it's crazy what your body can do.
You have a dialogue doing a curl.
Yeah.
What I'll say is that mindset that I have doesn't work on homework. Like, bro, you remember how? Look, this is how I know you're gonna understand this. You remember how like you used to eat a potato chip and like get another ab?
Facts.
The less I study, the better I do.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm like not feeling the studying, whatever, I'll just not study and take the exam tomorrow. 96%. Boom.
Yo, I swear to God, that's how I went through college, bro. Like, I literally had this motto, and like my friend, he just never really understood why I didn't do it. I did things this way, but I had this like, if it's past midnight or like 1 a.m. and anything that I haven't learned up to that point, I'm like, screw it. It's not gonna make much difference. I've learned as much as I can. If it hasn't clicked by this point, hey, it is what it is. And I'll go in and I'll just nail it. Like, but it's so frustrating because sometimes like I would like spend a lot of like hours studying for something and I feel like I got it for sure. Like you can't sneak a question past me. And I walk in, I take the test, I feel mad proud afterwards. Result comes, is like maybe a C minus. I'm like,
What
happened? What? I thought I had it.
I hate like that feeling, man.
The times that I'm confident, it doesn't go well. But the times that I'm like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. I do really well. So I can definitely relate to that. Man, so how much longer you have until you're done with classes?
This semester, I'm done in like a week or two. Like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm good. Jesus, man. I interviewed for an internship yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to Alaska at the end of May for the whole summer. Studying plants.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Dude.
Yo, that's kind of dope, though.
I know, except it's going to be all rainy, and it's going to be cold, and it's like 16-hour days every day. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to, tap in that mindset. But no, I saw that opportunity, and one of my wife's friends is like one of the grad students there. So I was like, okay, I can't let that pass up. I see an alpaca in Alaska, I'm in.
Yo, for real.
Big alpacas too, not these baby alpacas here in Michigan. Big ones.
Baby little antler having alpacas. Yo, that's actually really awesome, man. Like, I've never been to Alaska. It's like one of the places that I want to go. But yeah, just like being around, like, especially if you're studying plants, like, there's not that many places like Alaska that you can go to study this stuff.
No, we're going to like the Arctic stuff, so we're monitoring like the change in Arctic plants with climate change and stuff like that. Bro, you measure them. That's why I got this ruler.
Oh, damn, Taylor. Hey, thank you so much, man, for like being part of this podcast, bro. This has been amazing. I will definitely, like, if you enjoy this, I would definitely love to have you on for some more different topics that may not necessarily have much to do with the Army, but yeah, it's awesome having you, bro.
For real, it's good to catch up with you, man.